Striking green with brilliant white and gold markings, the jewelled gecko has long been treasured by the locals of the Otago Peninsula. These beautiful geckos have captured the heart of the community, who have rallied together to ensure their survival. Let's learn more about the threats that face these beautiful geckos.
One of the stop members had geckos on his property, and he offered to fence it off, and we put a high fence on it with the idea that it would keep cats out. But unfortunately, 5 years later, the number of geckos had reduced by 50%, and they were still dropping, and we just really couldn't work out why that was. We asked Kerry to come along and do a baseline study, and his baseline showed us that there were 7 times as many mice in amongst the long rank grass as there were in other areas that were grazed that still had healthy gecko populations. And so we started concentrating on rodent control.
So Kerry, you've just caught this jewelled gecko. Have you been able to identify it?
Yeah, I have. Based on the patterns on their back, I can ID the gecko. All jewel geckos have their own unique markings, so I just look at the gecko and I can flick through the photos I've taken at the site of different geckos. I've managed to match up the pattern with this photo here.
And so what do you know about this animal?
I know it's a sub-adult female. It's probably about 2.5 years old.
And so do their markings stay through their whole lives?
Yeah, their markings are permanent. It's more or less like a fingerprint. Yeah, no two look exactly the same.
Can you tell me a bit about the research that you've been doing here?
I've been looking at the impact of grazing on jewel geckos. I've found that in some cases grazing can actually benefit jewel geckos because grazing modifies the environment in a way that reduces the number of rodents. Rodents like areas of dense ground cover with seeding grass and lots of places for them to hide. When shrubland is grazed, that ground cover is eliminated and the habitat is less suitable for rodents. But since these geckos live in the bushes and trees, as long as the bushes and trees aren't affected by the grazing, they seem to benefit because there's less predators around.
And what are the main threats to them here?
I think introduced predators, particularly rats and mice, are a major threat. Also things like magpies and kingfishers, and poaching is also a threat for the black market pet trade. So yeah, I've shown that grazing can benefit jewel geckos, which hasn't been identified before. So that sort of gives the community some practical ways that they can conserve jewel geckos.
Our local lizards are particularly vulnerable to predation, be it cats, rats, mice or poaching. It would be a tragedy to lose such a stunning creature, but with the hard work and aroha of these dedicated people, we should see these jewels adorning our native shrubs for years to come.
So we'll just put her back where she came from because this is where her territory is.
See you later.
Love is still